In the midst of World War II, a tale of courage, redemption, and the human cost of war unfolds. Released in 1967, The Dirty Dozen is a film that continues to resonate with audiences for its raw portrayal of sacrifice and survival. Directed by John Frankenheimer, the movie presents an intense, action-packed narrative centered around a group of 12 soldiers who are given a second chance at life and redemption through a deadly mission behind enemy lines. With its explosive action sequences, vivid characters, and daring premise, The Dirty Dozen is not just a war film, it's a study of human nature, morality, and the complex relationships forged in the crucible of war. In this review, we will break down the storyline, characters, and pivotal moments, while reflecting on how this 1967 classic left an indelible mark on the war genre. The film opens with a tense, gripping atmosphere as Major John Reisman, played by Lee Marvin, is tasked with assembling a team of convicts to carry out a high-stakes mission. These are not your typical soldiers. Each man in The Dirty Dozen is a criminal, a man with a dark past who has been given a second chance at redemption in exchange for their service in an operation so dangerous. The military has little expectation of any of them surviving. As Reisman combs through a military prison, we meet each of the dozen men, each with their own distinct personality and background, making for a volatile mix of personalities. The men are initially distrustful of one another, but the stakes of the mission soon forge an unlikely bond among them. This ragtag group, made up of thieves, murderers, and deserters, will need to set aside their differences and work together for the greater good. The mission? To infiltrate a heavily guarded German mansion where Nazi officers are to gather, and eliminate them before they can form a crucial meeting to discuss the future of the war. The Dirty Dozen is a diverse, eclectic group, and part of the film's allure lies in its ensemble cast, which brings these colorful characters to life. Let's dive deeper into some of the key members. Major John Reisman, Lee Marvin, a tough, no-nonsense officer with a troubled past, Reisman is both the leader and the moral center of the film. His military expertise and leadership are key in molding the men into a functional team, despite their individual flaws. Victor Franco, Jim Brown, a former football player and convicted murderer, Franco is one of the few men who commands respect from his fellow soldiers. He is the group's natural leader when Reisman is absent. Robert Jefferson, Trini Lopez, another convicted man, Jefferson brings a street-smart attitude to the group. His experiences make him a valuable asset when it comes to survival tactics. Sergeant Clyde Boren, Ernest Borgnine, the older, more experienced member, Boren is tasked with maintaining order within the ranks. Despite his gruff exterior, he is a loyal soldier who understands the value of teamwork. Captain Stuart Kinder, Richard Yeckel, Kinder is the sensitive, empathetic officer who serves as a foil to Reisman's more hardened persona. These characters, with their complex backstories and motivations, evolve over the course of the film, showing that even the most hardened criminals can change when given a chance for redemption. The premise of the mission is simple but deadly. The Dirty Dozen is tasked with parachuting into France, infiltrating the German mansion, and killing the high-ranking Nazi officers meeting there. The soldiers are given little time to train and even less trust from their commanders. The plan, masterminded by Major Reisman, is incredibly risky, but the soldiers' very lives depend on its success. The tension is palpable as the men prepare for the mission. They are equipped with a variety of weapons and explosives, and the clock is ticking. Each man, including those who may not fully trust Reisman or each other, must rely on their skills and instincts. The tension is further heightened by the presence of Nazi soldiers patrolling the area, and the looming risk of failure or capture. Yet, this is where the characters' humanity shines through. They are fighting not only for survival, but for their place in the world after the war. The Dirty Dozen embarks on their mission, and the film shifts into high gear. What follows is a brutal, bloody assault that showcases the soldiers' military prowess and the harsh realities of war. There are explosions, gunfights, and moments of both heroic triumph and tragic failure. As the men break into the mansion and confront the Nazi officers, the tension becomes unbearable. The stakes are life or death, and not all of the Dirty Dozen make it out alive. Sacrifices are made, and the film doesn't shy away from showing the cost of this reckless mission. Amidst the chaos, the men's bonds deepen, and their personal transformations become evident. These criminals, each one with their own dark past, have found something greater than survival. They've found camaraderie and, in some cases, redemption. Following the mission, the remaining members of the Dirty Dozen reflect on the aftermath. The emotional weight of their losses, and the personal costs of their actions, are felt deeply. In the final moments of the film, Major Reisman is left to consider the moral complexities of his actions. While the mission was a success, the death toll is high. This final act serves as a poignant reminder of the brutal realities of war, and the heavy burden carried by those who fight it. The Dirty Dozen remains one of the most influential war films ever made, and its impact on the genre cannot be overstated. Through its unforgettable characters, brutal action, and examination of the human condition, it remains a testament to the courage, sacrifice, and resilience of the men and women who serve in wartime. In the end, The Dirty Dozen is not just a story about a group of soldiers on a mission, it is a story about redemption, survival, and the transformative power of war. Each of the men, from Major Reisman to the most hardened convict, is forced to confront their own humanity in the face of unimaginable violence. For some, the journey ends in death. For others, it is a chance to be reborn, even if only for a brief moment. The legacy of The Dirty Dozen endures, not just as an action film, but as a profound meditation on the human cost of war. This detailed review highlights the complexity and timeless relevance of The Dirty Dozen, a 1967 action war film that remains a cornerstone of cinematic history.